Okay.
Hey everybody. So we're doing this CrazyStone game. CrazyStone set at 5 dawn, I believe. 5 dawn. Chris, Raven, Frozen Stone, Frozen Soul will be playing the White Stones,
Mhm.
and I'll be asking him questions about why he's playing that, what he's thinking about. We had to decide what level we're going to play against, and we're going, well, either 3 dawn or 5 dawn. And I was thinking, well, 3 dawn's enough to suit most everybody's needs. Wouldn't you listeners love to play against 3 dawn and win easily? Frozen Soul's like, yeah, but there were no issues came up. Like, for me, their issues came up. For you, it's simple. For me, not so simple. Um, so that's what we've decided. That's what we're doing. And here we go. Okay, Raven, your move.
All right, I'll do star point in the top right corner. I'm just curious to see if it's going to play Sanrensei. I'll do a 3/4 in the lower right at Q3.
Q3.
Yeah, this one instead of R4 because I don't like giving the facing side when black has the Hoshi. So I prefer him to come into my side. There's the Sanrensei. Let's go. All right, invade C3.
C3. That's what we're scared of.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's going to take a big area. Okay.
Oh, I'm going to give it to him. I'm just going to give it to him. So I took an AI class I'd mentioned through a buddy of mine, Ray Chang. It was administered by a Taiwanese 7P, D3 here. And this is actually like a known system for beating the Sanrensei now, and it's the reason why professionals don't usually play it anymore. When you look at it with strong AI, it gives black's winning percentage. Like black loses 3 to 5% this way. We'll go E3 push.
E3 push.
Yeah. Now at the human level, that doesn't necessarily mean much. Obviously, if you're in like the Q levels or the maybe even the low down levels, maybe this isn't the best way to play. But F2 would be my next move here. I assume it's going to extend. It usually does. Push to G2. Hane at H3 is big, so it's almost guaranteed black's going to stretch one more time. And if not, I'm happy to Hane. The Moyo on the left does look really scary, but I'll sort of talk about why I'm not really afraid of this as we get to the point where I come in. But yeah, so at a higher level, I'd say maybe starting at 5, 6, 7 dawn, this system is applicable, and almost always it's going to be a comfortable result for white, and it's usually a really annoying way for a black to try to figure out how to play against it. And so I'm hoping we'll run into that issue with the AI here where it doesn't know how to handle it and I can break it.
Okay, let me just catch up a little bit here. Raven has this tendency to really say a lot of things, and it's hard for me to keep up.
Apologies.
But I believe he's saying this Sanrensei stuff, it's a known deal. We play this way, white's always comfortable, and black tends to get frustrated. Does that sound like I got it? Okay.
Yeah.
And for the viewers, I have CrazyStone going on in the background. So I'm about to play CrazyStone's move. And so that's how it's working is what you're looking at is not CrazyStone. It's on my computer and I'm transferring moves. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to invade the other Sansan, C17.
That's the thing we're most afraid of. I'm so glad the computer's going along with us.
Yeah, push. Yeah, actually here, when professionals do play Sanrensei nowadays and they reach this position, most of the time I never see them block C16 on the second invasion. They almost always block the D17 side.
Yeah.
And then they play the knight's move at C14 to try to close the gap on the left. Hane. And my perspective on that is I think it's because white is going to get the territory no matter what. But in one variation, all of black's eggs are facing the left-hand side. So when white comes in, black can only do one thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna that's all over my head. If You have
Sure.
control. Go ahead and show us, and then we'll get back to the game.
Sure. So a lot of the times they'll play like this, and then they'll switch. Oops.
Right.
Yeah. And so the idea is the left side is relatively closed. Like white can play this, that's all fine, but then black gets to play away again. Black's not unhappy.
Right.
A is a high extension from the B wall, so the whole group on the left is fine. We treat it like a strong position, and we play away from it. It's nice and easy. Black can do more things. Black's not burdened with the left anymore. But in this way, black becomes overly burdened with the left.
Yeah, committed. That's the word I use. Is when I'm playing 4-dan or above, I don't dare commit because they're all over me. Take it, take it, take it. I have to take it, and then they win the game. Oh no!
Which is exactly what we're planning to do here. This is why it's annoying when I think black extended, right? I don't think I played that out, but I'll give you control back from here.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the feeling is kind of when white gives it to black and then comes in and takes part of it away, it's much harder for black to change his mind and play elsewhere and get as good a result because black has invested every move he's made on the left-hand side so far.
Right.
So I'll push one more time here. And then from here, it's going to extend again. I'm almost positive. We have to decide if we want to push one more time. It's possible. I have to double check some ladder stuff with E10. It doesn't really impede that. I'll go ahead and I'll push one more time because the Hane is big. And I'll attach at E10.
E10. Okay. I'm going to look at something just because it's interesting. Some people might not know it. In the old days, we used to play this way. White gets really nice corner, super strong, and sente. And we all go, yay, we did such great things. Alpha comes along and says, well, you know, this A thing you gave him is so strong that you've just lost the game. You can't give him this kind of stuff. But if you crawl on this second line and all the Go players are going, what? You can't crawl on the second line. Yes, but now you're alive and he doesn't have thickness. As a matter of fact, he has a stick with a cut in it.
Yeah.
And later on, you're going to kill that stick. I mean, I'm totally overstating.
Yeah.
But it's a really different way of looking at it that we're all trying to get used to.
Yeah, it's definitely yeah, and one variation, E16 is actually a threat later, and the other one, E16, almost doesn't exist. So it's a big difference when your opponent has a weakness left behind.
Yeah.
And on this case, black kind of has two of those. He's got E16, which is arguably the worst one, and he's got F4, which is slightly better, but still a weakness.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about E10, the attachment. And the cool thing about the attachment is we're going to force a compromise. I'm prepared to give him half of it. But whichever half he protects, he leaves the other half exposed. And so we can see how that weakness follow-up can really be useful here.
Okay. So this is the move we looked at before, but some may not have seen the video. I doubt if 1% of the viewers would ever think about this move. So talk to us about it, but instead of your usual million miles an hour throwing amazing things at us that we can't keep up with, try to get it a little clear so that I can understand it.
I'll try to slow it down.
And I'm going to give you control so you can talk freely.
Let's do a little bit of a comparison. A move like this, a move like this, and a move like this were all considered standard-ish moves at one point. C was the most common from what I remember learning Go. A and B were considered to be fine, and A was sometimes a mistake because it's considered quote-unquote too deep. The reason for that is usually because if we come in, black has a really easy pinch. We don't have clean access to the center. We don't have nearby stones to support it. So if we fall under attack, black gets to exercise the full extent of black's walls. That's a very uncomfortable situation for white. We can agree on that, right?
Yeah. Good so
So
far. I like it. Thank you.
yeah. So the original idea from professionals was, okay, maybe we do something a little further back on the sector line instead. And now if black comes to cap us, notice the relationship between the three stones. It's a whole 2 lines different between them, right? Like
Yeah.
we've got that whole 2-line gap there. And that's for both. It means white's got a lot more room to break out through the top or the bottom. White can get ahead of the wall. The wall's not as exercised in this position. And also white has a little bit more room to make some type of floating base in the center.
Uh-huh.
So this one was considered to be a little bit more comfortable, but black still keeps the initiative. In professional games, a lot of the time, maybe 48% of the time black would win, 52% of the time white would win. It becomes the sort of contrast of black thickness versus white territory for most of the game, and that's all fine and well. B was sort of like a middle ground, but this one's less comfortable because black is only 1 line away, and it's going to be an easier attack for black. Along comes this move, which is a bit of an AI invention, although I do think I remember seeing some pros play it in the early 2000s.
Yeah, the probe. Yeah.
But the meaning of the probe is that if white's going to come into the black area, white would really like to do it by Sente. And the most Sente thing white can do is bother arguably the softest stone in the black area, which is sort of the Taiwanese pro called it a hinge, whatever that translates to in Taiwanese, but it's bothered the hinge stone. It's like if you're trying to break into a door that's locked, you apply pressure at the hinges to break it off track and to open it. The same principle applies to breaking the moyo here. Bother the A stone, it's the softest stone in the black position. Don't give black a chance to exercise the wall. If black hanes, now it's a local fight. The walls aren't playing as much of a role in it because they don't break any of the ladders. Both ladders are gonna dodge the wall in most cases, and even in the event that somehow it doesn't dodge the wall, white can sacrifice the cutting stone. White stays to the outside. Black doesn't get a chance to surround him.
Okay. Let me catch up. You that started to get a lot there. So, if black plays this side, the ladder works. If black plays this side, the ladder works. So that's the whole ladder thing he's talking about. And that's why he questioned, can I push at A? Does B break the ladder? If so, I'm not pushing at A. So Chris is there thinking that far ahead, and that would give me a headache. Okay. Also, to me, the biggest concept is, if we call it a probe, that means we don't care about the A stone. Please take it. I could care less. But something is going to happen here. I'm either going to do something on the B side, something on the, you got to cut there, I can get out. So it's basically a sacrifice stone, which may or may not sacrifice, in order to ask questions and ask black what we should do. Okay, I believe I'm caught up. Now, take it from here.
Yes.
You have control.
So this one is sometimes possible. And it looks very similar to this shape, but there's one big difference. In this shape, when white plays the follow-up, black has 3 liberties. In this shape, when white plays the follow-up, black has 2. So that 1 liberty difference means the world to white's survival. When black has to answer and white gets to defend, white is gaining at black's expense on the left side. White's already starting to establish strength near an exposed black weakness. So just knowing that there's a peep / a cut at E16, let's just take a look at one idea. Sometimes black might consider to surround something like this. It's very, very hard for black to contain white because every move white plays removes liberties from the stone on the side. So the follow-up is severe. And at all points, white is aiming at getting out around B or C.
Okay.
So this type of center surround, although it may be possible, it's actually very unlikely that white is going to be dead. And then after black loses the side and white lives, black gets a wall facing 2 white stones, and it's not really doing much in the middle yet.
Okay. Get a little over my head there. So take A off, go back to that point where A is not on the board yet. And we're just going to play C10, and I'll put some. I'll call out some black coordinates, and you do your thing.
Okay. So against C10, then in this shape, we will.
Okay. G11.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. And now I run.
And G7.
G7. Ooh, the double jump getting ahead of me.
I'm just going to go with the C8, nice and strong, connect home.
Okay, C8.
Nice move. I'm going to just play, let's go with C9, nice and strong. No snapbacks or nothing.
Super solid move. Okay.
Now, all of black's moves are killing moves, not chasing moves. Okay. Should I push once? If I push once in there, I mean, towards the cut, I'm making you fix the cut, and I'm using, no, thank you. Let's go with the knight's move, H13.
Okay. Knight's move is strong.
Pawning.
Yeah, that's all fairly normal.
Look at black getting thinner and thinner. Wait a minute, this was my area. How are you attacking me?
You have weakness.
H9, I've got to connect up.
Yeah, this is the one that makes sense. But now remember, we've got that F5 weakness that's exposed.
Okay.
So how do you handle Atari? Okay,
Save.
So we're going to save out. That's fine. Net.
And there's, oh no, Atari at H6.
Atari at H6 is a perfectly valid move. I'll extend.
And then let's come out at F6.
So we're going to get full squeeze.
Yeah. Looking good. You're still dead. You're still dead. Connect under B6. Oh man, we're out on the edge of a
There's one
limb. And
There's
you're just going to live.
Incente.
Connect.
Yeah.
This cut's just going to, well, at the moment, boom, 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 boom. Oh, you win the. So it's a ladder. I've got to connect at J10, whatever.
Yeah, and white's just alive.
And you're just alive. Well, thanks, Chris. That was great. I came after you as strong as I could. And you're like, now that is an amazingly difficult road. Again, 1% of our viewers, and I don't think I'm part of that, would be able to succeed.
And this is why I say maybe this isn't optimal for most players under 5 Dan. But if you're like 4 or 5 Dan, like that mid Dan level, and you happen to watch this, this is a great system for practicing to break this type of layout.
Okay. So I remember watching a lecture with Jujo. And I know Jujo, studied with Jujo. So I use his name, Jujo. But in my head, I'm saying the great Jujo Jang. I don't think I have such high respect for his knowledge of the game. I cannot tell you. And his wife, Runai Wei, oh my God, perhaps even higher. She's
a monster.
She's a monster. Chris, when you're in her presence, she's just this sweet little thing with a big old smile. And then she sits at the go board and she becomes a thing of iron. It's terrifying when she sits at the go board. It's like, oh my God, what happened? Where did that sweet little girl go? It's, they're really something. And I probably told you the story. I'm at their house. She's serving me tea. I'm in heaven. And I'm asking Jujo questions. I ask him a question. He goes, I know nothing about that, which is pretty funny because he could write books about it. So he calls over Naiwei. Ru, come here. Do you know about this? She looks. She says, yes. And she explains it to him. I got such a kick out of that. But he asked his wife, "Do you know about this?" She's like, "Yes, I do." I just got such
Yeah.
a kick out of that. Okay, so I'm watching a lecture with him. He gets in a position, basically, it could be this exact position, very close to this, and he says, "Oh yes, many people are afraid of this position. I'm afraid of this position," and it's like, okay, if he's afraid, then we have the right to be afraid.
Yeah.
So for the weaker player, I really went on a rampage there. Thank you for your patience. You might not want to do both D and E, giving black the area, unless you want to practice. I want to practice invading a Mario. Great, do it. But if you want to win the game, you might not give him a massive monster, even though you know you're not behind. You may want to do something else instead.
Your Sabaki needs to be up to snuff.
Yeah,
This is very, very dependent on having good Sabaki skills.
yeah. Okay, so here we are in the game.
Yeah.
You're playing here, and we'll see what the computer does.
Yeah. I'll Hane the other way to the fourth line, so D9.
D9.
Yeah, from here there's many routes, but black will typically either get all the bottom third line territory, or black's going to get one half or the other. Connect.
Oh, that would. I think I would play this move, but I would be worried. I'm heavy now.
Yeah, but so is black because of F5. So black is doing everything black's supposed to be doing. How fun do I want to get here?
Hopefully, the simple path would be best. Whatever you want.
The simple path is simple enough, I suppose. Knight's move, G8. Now, this violates a lot of principles we talk about. Don't run with the knight's move. But black also has a weakness. So if he cuts me, it's going to get awkward for him.
Okay.
So in this case, there's a bit of a tactic to deal with the cut. I think if Hane clamp is going to be strong, so I'll extend down at G7.
Now, I don't think I would have come with that move. That looks like heavy next to heavy with a cut in between. Just that shape is pretty scary to me.
Yeah. So from this one, I'm going to knight's move, F5. This is where we F5. This is where we loop that weakness in. Okay. Hane H6. Descend. Just threatening to escape, building high space, aiming for the D6 knight's move. Descend at C9.
C9. Oh, because now you're getting eyes on the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
And this really affects the cut a great deal too. You can do more with the cut.
Yep. So it fixed the cut, but it fixed it in a very not thick way. This is an important detail. This suggests that black is aiming for E7, so I'm going to play E7 myself.
E7, shape
And
move.
now he's got H9 cut left over. If black didn't play this bump at G9 and simply extended, black shape would be thicker, and I think I'd like that better for black. But here I can think about how to use that weakness later. I'll start with F11 probe.
F.
Yeah, the Hane
11.
probe. So black can cut, but if he cuts, he puts himself in bad shape. I'm happy with that. Okay. Knight's move B11.
B11. Okay, his move did not threaten to cut you. Okay, so we can go over here.
Kosumi. So now he's playing it thick. Push. And diagonal B8.
B8, looking very lifelike.
Yeah. And so it might look like black is getting this whole big wall in the middle and it's super scary, but actually it's already cut at F11 and there's 2 more cutting points.
Yeah,
So it's not
1,
so
2,
impressive.
3, 4 cuts. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not so impressive. Now the question is, am I alive as it stands? Can I Tanuki? So I'm going to cheat and do a little bit of reading. Remember, everybody, reading is cheating. I'm going to push one more time at B13.
B13.
Yeah. Mane, that's very aggressive. So he still suggests that I'm not completely alive here. Huh. So what's going through my head right now? I think B14 is a bluff. I don't believe in it. This might just come from a wealth of experience doing a lot of Sumego, but I'm absolutely confident White's going to be alive now, even if I play away. So the only thing I'm considering is it valuable enough to spend a move at J4 here to really put pressure on the cuts, or should I play an opening point instead? I mean, the cuts are pretty much the cornerstone of Black's whole strategy, right? So I think J4 can't be bad. So I want to Hane at J4.
When I'm not sure of my life, so if I'm White, I'm looking at this, I'm going, pretty sure I have a second eye, but there's an awful lot of weaknesses. I'm not positive. So I can't read deep like you. So I'd say, well, what can I do right here that's going to help me? Well, the Hane. It's going to, instill fear in his heart, and it gives me so many possibilities. Right.
Yeah, the reason that I'm confident that I can live, just for the viewers, I have a clamp at B15.
B15,
And oftentimes against this clamp, I either connect underneath to the corner, or if Black denies it, then the cut at C14 generates an eye with the A13 follow-up. So once White has A13 by Sente, White's alive.
Oh, I see. So at least life, along with really nasty things on the outside. Okay, good. So the clamp isn't for it. Basically, the clamp gives you A13. I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to connect under. No. It gives you A13 in Sente. It gives you life in Sente. Okay, nice. And in the game, we are here,
so
and it's your move.
K4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really important to draw the cutting stone out in this case, because the corner for Black is not alive.
Big time not alive. Thank you very much.
And Black has the weaknesses in the center. So Black's already got a double dilemma. We've established.
Do you viewers see what's going on here? Oh my God. One cut, nasty cutting stone, 2, 3, plus his group not even being alive.
That
Black
used to be Black's area.
Under shreds.
Yeah, that used to be Black's area.
Yeah. Gosh, this is an amazing outcome for White.
Yeah.
Wow. I'd love to be able to just play at your level. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, I have to give a lot of credit to that Taiwanese pro for really going through sort of a lot of the key ideas of this type of position. Because like once you understand the types of outcomes that White can get, it becomes much easier to treat the whole thing like a Sumego and just solve for it. Just try to ask the questions. I mean, of course, that's all assuming that you read well enough to do it and you've got good Sabaki skill. But again, I would not recommend this to Q players. It's
right. Yeah.
What's realistically going to happen is White will either end up dead or Black's going to get thick while you push into all of his shapes and make him stronger trying to live.
You got to know what you're doing to play. Yeah, at this level. Yeah. And you're doing this against a 5-dan bot. So now I don't trust bots levels. I mean, I've found my version of CrazyStone, if I put it at 1Q, it's playing 3-Don moves consistently until it makes some slip up somewhere. I mean, yeah. So anyway, so boom.
I'm wondering how it's going to fix this. Oh, it's just going to do that one. Yeah.
I'm assuming you're going to play there.
Yeah,
I shouldn't make that assumption.
No, we have to. So it chose to fix it this way, which I find to be interesting. If we go back 3 moves, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll hand you control.
Normally in the shape, and this might be instructive for Q players, if you want to fix the bulk of the problem, you can just go here. This one is good enough to protect A and B. That's 2 of your problems gone, 1 move. It doesn't solve the corner problem where white can do any number of things to kill the corner, but that being said, this exchange didn't really do that either.
Right.
And then this one, arguably the bigger cut, H9, has been left over.
Yeah.
So I think compared to just J9 directly, I think the way that black is trying to do it is actually worse.
Right.
Small difference, but it makes a huge impact.
Oh yeah.
Later in the game in fighting. Extend to E5. I think we just take the eye now. It's very clear to everybody watching it's alive. And we put the ball in black's court. How do you live?
E5. I see.
Yeah.
So the sequence he just did brought our second eye into question.
Mm-hmm.
So this strengthens our weakest perimeter, securing a second eye. And that's kind of a shape point for him because he has an Atari and then more. Yeah, good.
I'm expecting B3 Hane next. It has to be, so I'll block that. Now, cutting C2 would be sort of the natural move here. Connecting at B4 is a bit soft. Locally, I don't have the utmost confidence in black's eye space, so I'm going to go ahead and push at H2. I remove any semblance of an eye on the bottom in good shape.
Okay, talk about that one. So everyone other than you is thinking, am I live at A? He can Hane into the corner at A2. That's a powerful Hane. But black has potential eyes at B. Okay, so your move, did you say H2?
Yeah, H2, push.
This increases our life. And we actually don't care if he lives, but he ain't getting another eye down here. Very nice.
Yeah. And the other benefit is that now if he plays like J3 to keep me disconnected, I can turn, which fixes my cutting stones in Sente also. I'll descend again. It's going from the outside. So he just wants to live in Gote. Descend to B1. How benevolent do I feel? D2? D as in dog, too. 1 higher.
All right.
It's all right.
D2, there it is.
Yeah,
I found it.
The one. Yeah. Most direct method to life, in most cases. Oh, it's going to try to kill me instead. That's adorable.
It does this all the time, yeah.
That's adorable. So if you just play D1 here, it's alive. He can't kill you. This is a classic Sumego shape, actually. And it's dead in Gote. I can probably live. Let me just make sure there's no weird, nasty stuff I need to be aware of here. I don't think there is, though. So push, connect. I have 3 liberties. Hane, I can cut. He can't go anywhere. That just ends up dead. Okay. I'm gonna make things very simple. It's very, very clear he wants to aim at something around f6 and f8. I think that's, he's peeping. There's a cut there involved in the ko. I'm going to cut him at h9 first and make his liberty small. We're going to use that method to defend any weakness that we have. I prefer to be active rather than passive here. I also cheated and did a little bit of reading to make sure I was okay. Oh, it's going to go in, connect at e2. That's the life and death move. Okay, now fix. So this method of fixing leaves behind f9. I'm going to take that now. Just shore up my position. Now there's nothing that works for black here. And I have a follow-up at h10.
Okay, so this is, for a lot of people, this is advanced. For me, this is a bit awkward, actually. Cut at A, oh, we're being aggressive. No, it's just a means of getting B and Sente.
Yep.
A is a defensive move.
Mhm.
But it's so hard to say, I'm cutting you. That's my defense. No, the cutting, that's aggression.
Yeah,
But it
actually,
brings the defense.
Funny enough, when I was learning a lot of the AI stuff in that class I took, the one sort of principle that Taiwanese pro harped on is that we should be thinking about cutting moves as defensive moves.
Okay.
Which actually changed my whole perspective in a lot of these cases because I used to just think about them as like pure aggression, but oftentimes cuts end up benefiting the defending side more.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I have Sente. I can play away N4.
N.
Yeah.
N4. Okay, now again for viewers, black's entire A group goes from B down to C. Talk about one big massive wall, which we have made strong. We can say black is officially super thick. Oh, we better go do something big, maybe D, something to get in there. No, we have weaknesses at the bottom, one thing at a time. It's a big move by itself, not huge, big, and it defends. Good.
Yep.
To you, these things are so obvious. And to me, I'm like, okay, let me catch up.
Well, I like that you asked the questions because one thing that I also notice is that when we're having to explain a lot of this stuff or like it holds me accountable to my moves to an audience. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background of my mind that I don't vocalize because for me it just happens. I don't think about it anymore. It's all reflexive.
Yeah.
We'll connect here.
Yeah, I remember being with Jujo, and he's showing a sequence, and in his mind, it's the end of the sequence that he's talking about. But as the sequence go on, I stop. Wait! Why in the world would you play there? And to him, it's the most obvious thing in the world.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't play there? A child could do it. So that's a Star Trek reference.
Yeah.
And when he would explain those things, it was more meaningful to me than the major move. Yeah.
All right. So like for me, it's very easy to let that stuff sort of get lost in the background processes of my brain.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll connect and make the I at E8. I'm still waiting for black to show me where the life is. And it doesn't believe in its life either. So that's easy enough.
Okay. So black's dead in the bottom left. And that's game winning. There's nothing black can do. If black gets a huge center, he's going to be well behind.
Yeah, I'm going to play 016 just to accentuate that, I guess.
Yeah.
That's all black has. I'm just going to give it to him because it's not enough.
Yeah. And let's finish this Joseki, and then we'll just call it quits because the game's over. But this is slightly interesting.
Yeah. It'll be curious to see if it goes for the old method or the new one. I'll extend.
Extend. Okay, that was one of my questions. Are you actually, and is this safe? I tend to, am I going to live? Because it's only chance, right?
Yeah,
Okay, that's really all we need. So we'll just see what he does here.
yeah.
Here,
If it extends, then I'll block in the corner.
yeah.
It's enough. At this point, it has to like try to push and cut because this push doesn't actually work. I'll just even be soft and say Q13. I don't have to try hard anymore.
Q13.
Yeah.
I would have gone Q14, Q13. That's certainly safe. Okay, let's stop there. Now white has a big corner. Black doesn't even get the area he's going for. So we're way, way, way ahead. Yeah. Good. Well, thanks, Chris. That was very nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
George, you have anything you want to add before we end? He's shaking his head no. He mutes his mic during these things for technical reasons.
I think if we do 5 done again and it goes for Sanrensei, I'll do something a little bit more Q friendly the next time. Like this is just sort of like a little bit of preface. My first couple of in-person tournaments at the 5 dan level, I would play against a guy named Karsten Henkel at our tournament, and he always drew black against me and always played Sanrensei. And it always became a fight, and I always lost by a few points. So the Sanrensei aggravated me to no end. It got to the point where I got so tired of losing to it, I was doing everything I could to figure out how to destroy this opening. In a way that was practical enough that I could do it consistently. This has been the answer I've found, and since I've found this method, if I ever see it and it's a game I'm trying to win, I play this and I don't lose. Because it's just, as you see, it's really difficult for black to try to keep the area once white comes in. It's like you have to follow the proverb: when white comes in and he invades, give it to him, and then try to do something else. Because if black tries to come in, or not come in, but if black tries to play too aggressively, then the weaknesses that are left behind in the corner give white just enough to do what white did in this game. But how practical is it for a Q audience? I don't know. It's nice to look at, but it's hard.
You mentioned what you did when you were 5 dan.
Yes.
You're still here?
I'll be done in like 10 minutes.
How long did she need to eat?
I don't know. That's a question for her mom.
I'm not gonna go there.
Sorry about that. My mom was asking a question.
No problem.
You were saying?
When you mentioned what you did as 5 dan, it brought a couple memories to mind, and we'll just tell little stories. So it's actually 2 stories. One, when I got to 5 dan, what I did was play absolutely basic without variation, knowing that at some point they won't. They're going to step off the path, and I'll be 2 points ahead, and I'll never give it back. And I won 90% of my games just by playing the most basic moves, and that was fun. So the tournament where I went from 4 dan to 5 dan, I'm winning. I won all my games, and then we're at the last game. And the last game was I'm scheduled with this friend of mine who we've played countless games together, and I give him 6 stones. But since it's a tournament, I'm going to give him 3 stones. I'm like, okay, this is going to be, it's over. He goes to the tournament director and says, Lance and I play together all the time. Can't I have another opponent? Oh, sure. So now I get hooked with Dan Bump. Oh, my Lord. One of the 3 hardest people to beat I've ever found. Amazingly, he was 4 dan at the time. Anyway, I don't dare. I knew if I went to the tournament director and demanded my right to play my friend, my attitude would change and I would lose the game, even at 3 stones. I knew it. Because I'd be, no, I want this, I want it. It would be, oh no. So I played Dan Bump, and I committed, I will win this game. Not once in the game did I ever lose focus or lose intent. It was, oh man, he raked me over the coals and eventually had to resign, but it was a heck of an epic game. Okay, little story. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's a great story. I like stories
Yeah.
like that. Like, but yeah, it's that deep fueled hatred, in my case for this particular opening that has driven me to destroy it in all of its entirety every time I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
And I know many different ways now to do it, so I'm very well prepared with AI or human plays this against me,
Right.
barring Katago, right? Because no human's going to win that in an even game. But I'll dang sure do my best.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, Chris, thanks so much for your time.
yeah,
George, thank you
thank you
for
for your
running
time.
things in the background.
Mhm.
And I guess we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Okay, bye. Bye, everybody.